Introduction. Interpersonal communication refers to the process and methods through which individuals share information, thoughts, and feelings with one another. Interpersonal communication is based on a set of indicators, including utterances, body language, eye contact, and gestures. Strong bonds in the military are built on an open and honest dialogue between members of the force. Interpersonal communication, which includes both verbal and nonverbal cues, is essential for success in the Army. Interpersonal communication is driven by the need to effectively transmit purpose and intent to achieve mutual understanding and, ultimately, the targeted outcome. Since verbal and nonverbal communication are intertwined, comprehension of both is necessary for the effective use of interpersonal communication. Army operations may benefit greatly from the employment of both forms. Military communication encompasses both the dissemination of intelligence from reconnaissance to other branches of the armed forces and the transmission of commands and instructions from superior officers to their subordinates. The Army requires effective communication for the benefit of strengthened connections, raised effectiveness of operations and minimization of conflict. Current environment. Interpersonal skills are essential because they have an immediate impact on a leader's capacity to lead and, most importantly, communicate. Today's operating environment needs proactive communication in order to address the myriad of issues that soldiers and institutions must confront in a world that is sometimes tumultuous, unpredictable, complex, and dynamic. Soldiers are allowed the freedom and latitude to use professional judgment within the mission's direction and goal in order to properly express the aim and intent in order to achieve common comprehension. Interpersonal communication facilitates comprehension and awareness of the reality of the freedom and latitude to conduct disciplined action in accordance with Army directives and objectives. Interpersonal tact demands a comprehension of how soldiers receive and interpret instruction. In battle, telephone communication provides the necessary immediacy as a confirmation of face-to-face contact. When operating within a global coalition, the underlying meaning of a conversation may be obscured by linguistic conventions and word choice. Key characteristics of effective communication in Army. Respect must be given for the efforts made to communicate in a second language in order to prevent the use of culturally inappropriate terms and misunderstandings. Politeness is always needed while communicating over the phone, but preparing the words in advance may help to explain one's point more effectively and leave a favorable impression on the other party. In terms of communication, listening is just as crucial as speaking. Listening attentively without interrupting the other person to prevent misunderstanding and noise-related loss of certain facts is necessary. Similarly, recognition and occasional remarks are crucial for the speaker to know one is paying attention and not just zoning out. The tone of the voice might suggest whether a person is in agreement or disagreement, but silence can make one feel uneasy. The ability to actively listen is a cornerstone of building and maintaining rapport with others. Misinterpretation or disregard of verbal and nonverbal messages may lead to a hostile workplace where people feel ignored and misunderstood. Listening attentively is a vital military skill, one that is used often in the course of operations, during developmental counseling, and while assessing dangerous or life-threatening circumstances. Army commanders' ability to recognize and discuss issues with their soldiers' physical and mental well-being and their preparedness for missions might benefit from the application of active listening skills during developmental counseling. Considering the growing anxiety about the safety and health of the active duty, reserve, and National Guard personnel, this is a very pertinent issue. Face-to-face contacts are the essence of interpersonal communication. These types of encounters occur in real time without the use of technology, facilitate more productive and customized interactions. Email cannot identify facial emotions and body language. Dealing with a person one-on-one enables the formation of strong social ties and the establishment of relationships based on trust and respect. This leads to a feeling of belonging and the breaking down of cultural boundaries via human connection and shared humanity. Through communication and excellent relationships, individuals may connect to the arrangement and understand how they fit in the Army, which instills confidence and commitment. It also enables chiefs and leaders to examine the competence of their followers and staff in a discreet way. In contrast to digital communications, face-to-face encounters allow for the introduction of humor and expressions of emotion, therefore including the human element. Engagement in person enhances organizational knowledge, fosters trust, and facilitates teamwork. Military context of communication. In addition, effective interpersonal communication ensures that all parties are aware of their individual responsibilities in producing mutually beneficial solutions to problems. Some may argue that tact is only the ability to behave professionally or with a greater degree of compassion in order to express regard for a superior, but respect should be reciprocal and mutually advantageous. When communicating with subordinates, peers, and superiors, tact is a vital skill that must be continually cultivated and used in order to build cohesive, successful, and effective teams. Every military commander must be capable of efficient communication. Clear writing and speaking help their capacity to create and maintain personal connections. It provides them with the capacity to command powerful groups, whether in war or on the staff. It allows them to combine purpose with the task, converting squadrons, battalions, platoons, and military staff into teams. Obstacles for communication. Despite efforts to improve troop interactions and organizational effectiveness, there are obstacles to effective interpersonal communication across the military. Lack of fundamental language proficiency and poor listening skills might hinder interpersonal communication. People are able to communicate with ease. However, due to the hurdles that may be met along the journey, it might become perplexing and unpleasant. Physical obstacles are the first hindrance to military intergroup interaction. These may include defined zones where only authorized personnel are granted admission, locked office doors, or the construction of barrier shields that physically separate military soldiers of different ranks by splitting them into numerous units. Proximity is one of the most influential elements in forming cohesive military groups. Armed forces members who have personal boundaries may consider personal benefit from proximity to each other because they are able to learn and appreciate. Conclusion. In conclusion, the majority of personal conflicts in the military stem from ineffective interpersonal communication. Poor communication may result in disastrous outcomes, such as misunderstanding and the failure of a worthwhile objective. Collaboration among military people is vital. To overcome obstacles to effective communication, all military commanders must uphold the guiding principles of competence and courtesy. Because words have the power to develop or affect attitudes, they must be utilized appropriately. Active, critical, and compassionate learning approaches must be developed for successful communication. Maintaining healthy interpersonal relationships in the military requires efficient communication. Communication is crucial to the success of all Army endeavors. The objective of communication is to convey a message to others in a manner that is comprehensible to both the sender and receiver. It promotes trust and respect among teams that communicate successfully. Everything you need for studies, essay samples, writing tools, and tips, you can find at studycorgi.com.